Hello guys, and welcome to part 25 of my playthrough of Bloodborne at 60 FPS. So in this episode I will tie up some loose ends in the main game, and I will cover the boss fight for Mergo's wet nurse. So as this is the penultimate episode, I figured I would cover some stuff here I left out of the run. There are still some things I haven't managed to cover in this playthrough, but I figured I'd add some of them here. So here I head back to the Nightmare Frontier to cover some loose ends. And basically here what I'm trying to do is find a shortcut which involves basically tipping over a rock structure, which kind of leads up to a higher path. And another benefit of going up this way is that it triggers a cutscene where Patches the spider will knock the hunter into a poison pit below. But again, this is from a different playthrough, so I decided to go back to this area and add it in. And Patch's kick has been pretty much copied into most of the FromSoft games from Miyazaki, with the exception of one or two of the games.
Every age, it seems, is tainted by the greed of men.
You're a dick.
Yeah, I think it's safe to say that Patches likes a good kicking, although he could probably do with one himself. I also head through to a cave area, where we can get the messenger's gift item. And this item will disguise the hunter as some messengers, which in a way is kind of fun, but it's not really something I would often use. And I also very nearly got killed trying to get this item, as the winter lantern here nearly wiped me out with frenzy, as well as the poison damage I was taking from the swamp. And here I return to Mergo's loft middle area, and just close to where we got the blood rock. And here I get the quiet bell, which can heal the hunter and all other co-op players, as well as summons. The only danger here is to watch out for the winter lantern, who again will inflict frenzy damage on you. And here I go from the Mergo's loft middle lamp, and we head back down to the area where we fought Mikolash. And I pick up the iron door key in this area, which can provide a shortcut back to the area where we picked up the Grey One's wisdoms and also the blood rock. I also pick up the second moon rune, which we can find at the bottom of the stairs of this area. So I take the lift back up to where the Pthumerian Queen is, who we saw in an earlier episode, and from here we will take the next lift up where we will encounter the next boss. So now we finally get onto the Mergo's Wet Nurse boss fight. Now the fight itself isn't too difficult, but it still can be a little tricky. As for the Wet Nurse herself, she has multiple arms, and in each one of them she wields a blade, and she can deal various slash attacks, all of which can deal a lot of damage, as well as a spin attack, a leaping attack, a lunge attack, as well as an arm stretch attack, all of which again can be quite dangerous. So as a strategy for this fight, I think it's best to try and deploy a kind of hit and run strategy. So basically try and get some hits in on the Wet Nurse and then back off, and she does her own combos. She is, however, also quite weak to bolt, so if you have a weapon which you can buff with bolt paper, I would suggest this is a good way to actually fight her. In the second phase, the Wet Nurse will produce a Nightmare Veil, which will darken the whole area, and then she will produce a clone of herself, and the clone itself can be very dangerous, and it's best to actually avoid the centre of the arena, because you can die very easily. So the best thing to do here is basically run around the edge of the arena, and by doing this we should be able to avoid the damage of the Wet Nurse's clone, but you basically should do this until the Nightmare Veil has lifted. And the Wet Nurse is finally down, although it does take a while before the Nightmare Slain logo actually appears, but at this point the Nightmare has been slain, and effectively that's the hunter done his job, and fulfilled his contract, which he filled in at the start of the game. So after the wet nurse fight, you can return to the Pthumerian Queen down below, where she will bow to you and vanish. This is her presumably thanking you for freeing Mergo from the wet nurse. This is actually quite a nice touch, and one that can be easily missed if you don't go back down to see her. And on returning to the Hunter's Dream, we now see that the workshop is on fire, and the doll tells us to meet Gehrman under the foot of the great tree.
Come. Dawn will soon break. This night and this dream will end. Gehrman awaits you at the foot of the great tree. Very, let me...
So that's it for this one, guys. So the next episode will be the finale, and in it I will cover the final boss fights as well as the 3 different endings for the game. So that's it for now, I will see you soon.